I'm Matt McKenzie, and welcome to Great for the State. Today's topic, hydrogen. It's the most abundant element of the universe, and when you use it to create electricity, the product is water. It could be the ultimate clean fuel. There's a lot happening in WA in this space, and we've spoken to a couple of people who are working on projects. Andrew Cornejo from Hazer Group and Mingming Zhu from the University of Western Australia.
Hazer takes two very low-end commodities in terms of natural gas and iron ore, and we turn that into hydrogen and graphite using a very efficient process that produces very little emissions. So much so that if you use biogas as a feedstock instead of natural gas, you can actually be carbon negative. So if you look at it from the holistics, if you had a tree, for instance, that absorbs CO2 at one stage, if you get that tree and you were to burn it, get the energy out of it, it'll return back to the atmosphere as carbon neutral. If you instead turn that tree into methane, you can then store that CO2 that was once in the atmosphere as graphite and get the energy component from it. Hydrogen is a commodity, a large commodity in the world today. It's generally used to make other things or in other processes such as ammonia production of petrochemical refining, fertilizer, explosives. It's actually a big market as it is today. It's about $115 billion per annum. Where the excitement globally is at the moment is in hydrogen as a fuel entity, whereby it can be used either in mobility or in stationary power or in such appliances. That's where the world is looking at with regards to directions for clean hydrogen or clean energy going forward. Always like being at the front of the curve with regards to where technology is, and I like applying it into areas that have high commercial potential. And clean energy, one of the topics of today, irrefutable. I'm a firm believer that if we don't act now, I think we're going to have irreversible consequences down the line. And it's not going to be a one solution that solves everything. I think there's going to be a segmented type of solution whereby there's going to be lots of pieces within the puzzle.
At UWA, Mingming's work involves using biomass, putting it through a process and into a special reactor that can create methanol, which can be used to carry hydrogen easily.
We have been working on the renewable energy for many years. I think because of climate change, we want to reduce the CO2 emissions. We want to do something better for the environment, for the society. In the decarbonization economy, hydrogen is one of the fuels we can use because it's very clean. When it burns, used as fuel, it only produces water. In the 20 years, I think hydrogen will fly in the fuel cells. For power generation, basically for the transport, I should say, because in the transport you either use electricity or use carbon-free fuel. Hydrogen is one of the carbon-free fuel. For the electricity cars, for the small cars, that's okay. But how about the trucks, the large scale, heavy machines? And it has been successfully demonstrated in the Eastern Metropolitan Regional Council. And to process the timber and to syngas to power. And now the project supported by ARENA is to further convert the syngas into methanol. The reason to produce that is the methanol can be used as a fuel directly or can be used as a hydrogen carrier, which can be easily transported to somewhere you want and used as a fuel or convert back to hydrogen in the fuel cell, for example. This is the 4-channel fixed bed reactor we built for conversion syngas to methanol here.
A report by consultancy ACIL Allen last year found that in a mid-case scenario, Australia's hydrogen exports could be $2 billion a year by 2030, and a big chunk of that might come from Western Australia.
Hydrogen power plant is, I think that's already commercial. Burning hydrogen for the power generation is already there. So, but the problem is the economics, whether you want the hydrogen. Because if you produce hydrogen from renewable resources, from thermodynamic, burning it is not thermodynamically favorable compared to the fuel cell. So if I want to use hydrogen as a fuel for power generation, I probably use the fuel cell, not use a furnace to burn it.
One country that's particularly keen on hydrogen is Japan. They're hoping it can power their 2020 Olympics, including the cauldron and the accommodation.
In Japan, they are very progressive or proactive in adapting hydrogen economy. In the Olympic game in 2020, I think they say they will take everything by hydrogen. Basically, it's hydrogen fuel cell cars and burning hydrogen in the gas turbines for power generation. So Western Australia has lots of solar energy and bioenergy, so we can convert that into hydrogen, and hydrogen can be transported using hydrogen carrier to Japan where it's needed.
Now there's a lot more happening in this space. Yarra Pilbara is planning a renewable hydrogen production facility up in the Pilbara at their fertiliser plant, and Woodside Petroleum reckons they could be commercially exporting hydrogen by 2030. Of course, they already liquefy natural gas. Maybe hydrogen will be simple enough.
From methanol shipped either in the methanol or ammonia as a hydrogen carrier shipped from WA to Japan is very feasible because WA already have existing infrastructure to ship the LPG from WA to Japan. At the moment, they can easily convert into hydrogen carrier ship infrastructure.
Thanks for joining us today. Our Future of Energy edition of Great for the State will be out on May 6. You can check it out, free to read on our website, and it'll be in our magazine. We're looking at hydrogen, but we're also looking at how the battery minerals boom is impacting WA communities, how Western Australia leads the world in microgrids, and all the work we're doing in traditional fuels, like natural gas. So give it a look.